Colorado Senator Michael Bennet has jumped into the race, and now there's 21 candidates. So what now when it comes to the debates? The DNC says that they are only going to accommodate 20 candidates. That's it. They're going to do 10 on one night, 10 on the other, and anybody else just gets cut out. I have a hard time believing they're really going to leave one person out. I think that would be really, really awful of them, but the DNC has never been short of being awful, so maybe they will. Maybe they would actually say, sorry, you didn't qualify. You're the one lone one. I don't know what they're really going to do there. But let's talk about who is qualified, how people can qualify, and are they at risk of losing their spots, even though they have qualified now that there's more than 20 candidates. Here's what the DNC has said. In order to make the debates, candidates have to do one of two things. So originally they were saying if there's 20, everybody can be on the debate stage. But if they go over 20, you have to meet one of these qualifications. The two qualifiers are you either have to get 65,000 unique donations. That's 65,000 different people have to have donated to your campaign, and they can't just come from the same place. So like for Tulsi Gabbard, they can't all come from Hawaii. They need to come from 20 different states, and not just one person in these 20 different states. You need at least 200 from those 20 different states. So you need 200 from California, 200 from Idaho, 200 from Wyoming, et cetera, for 20 different states, totaling up to 65,000 unique people donating to your campaign. That is one way to make the debate stage. The second way is to receive 1% support in at least 3 of the major polls. From January, I believe, is when the time frame was. So some of the candidates have made one of those qualifiers. Some of the candidates have made none of the qualifiers. And some of the candidates have made both of the qualifiers. If you've made both, you're in a really strong position. That means that you're probably really going to make that debate stage. Some candidates, surprisingly, have only done well on one part of this. And this is what I found the most intriguing is who's made it and who hasn't, and who's made both. There are currently 9 candidates who have qualified with both polls and donors. And there are currently no candidates who have qualified only with the donors. So there is no one who has raised 65,000 unique individual donations, and that's it. And they haven't made the polls. That would be somebody you would think that would be really smaller, like a Mike Gravel, although he's not even on this list. He doesn't count. So I don't know what's going on if he's officially actually filed papers or not. He must not have, because he's not considered one of the 21. But you can imagine a scenario, let's say he does, that maybe Mike Gravel would make the donations. He would get the 65,000 unique individuals, but would not make the polls. That's possible, but no one's done that yet. There are, however, several candidates who have qualified in the polls. They're polling well, but they're not raising money well. And that was actually a surprising list. You've got Cory Booker, Christian Gillibrand, Hickenlooper, Jay Inslee, Seth Moulton. Julian Castro has just, as of yesterday, he actually qualified with the polls and the donors, but he was only doing well with the polls. So he didn't hit his donation qualification until yesterday. I found all of this kind of refreshing. I really tried to push hard for donations towards Tulsi's campaign. Bernie and Elizabeth and Andrew Yang had already made the debates, and Tulsi was the one that kind of needed that extra push. And it's really good to see that she's actually listed as one of the top candidates, really, because of the 9 are Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, Amy Klobuchar, Beto O'Rourke, Andrew Yang, and Tulsi Gabbard are the candidates who've qualified with both the polls and the donors. That is great news. I like 4 of those candidates. I like 4 of them. I like Bernie, Elizabeth, Andrew Yang, and Tulsi Gabbard. I'm into it. So I think that is such great news. The candidates that have not raised the donors, but they have qualified with the polls, I don't care about them so much. But one candidate has not currently qualified. There's 3 who haven't qualified at all so far. Plus, there's 4 because you got Bennett who just jumped into the race. So there's 4, let me count here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, where I'm missing a few. I'm looking at this graph that the New York Times put together, and I don't know, it's missing some faces. So there's a few who haven't. The not currently qualified, the one that I care the most about is Marianne Williamson. She's really close to reaching the donor threshold. She needs about 6,000 more unique donations. Maybe that number's gone down a little bit. But, I sat down with her the other day, did an interview. I will be posting that interview tomorrow, I believe, or the next day. She's great. She really needs to make that debate stage. She's definitely one of my top candidates. I think she really knows what's wrong with Washington, what's broken. And she really does need to be on that debate stage. So if you've got it in you and you haven't donated to her campaign yet, just grab a couple bucks, $1, $5, however much, and donate to her campaign. Let's get her on the debate stage. She deserves to be there. She would be a breath of fresh air, very different. She's a spiritual guide type person. She's very fierce. She's got a lot of fire in her, and she does know what is broken in America. I do think that she would be great to hear from on that stage. And she's very serious about her run for president. In fact, she's moved herself to Iowa. She moved out of New York and to Iowa in order to really focus on running for president. That is dedication right there. So let's get her on the debate stage. She's the only one left who hasn't, like I said, qualified with one of the two. Now, what they're saying, what the DNC is saying is that if 20 of the candidates do meet both of the requirements, one of the two requirements, that they're going to prioritize by the candidates who've qualified with both. So the ones who've gotten the poll and the donors, which is the ones we like, which is good. And then from there, they're going to go with the highest polling people, and then they're going to go with the most unique donors. So they've got this kind of in order. So if they get more than 20 who actually qualify, then they're going to go with the ones that qualify with both first. So that's good. That's our Bernie, Warren, Yang, and Gabbard. Marianne, we got to work on this. We're working on it with Marianne. Then they're going to go with the ones that poll the highest, which I don't know who that would be. I guess Cory Booker or something, and Kirsten Gillibrand. I don't know how well these guys are polling. I haven't been paying attention. And who even likes, this is ridiculous. They shouldn't. I don't like the way that they're ordering this. So they're saying whoever meets both, then they're saying the highest polls, and then they're going to go with the donors. Okay. No, they should go with who gets more unique donors over the polls, because who trusts polls? I know I don't. So they should go with that. Follow the money, people. You follow the money with everything else. Why can't you follow the money with the debates, DNC? So that's what's going on. So that's pretty good news. For the candidates that we definitely champion here, and we want to get Marianne Williamson on that stage. So that's what's left. And also continue donating to these other candidates. Continue, especially to Tulsi, getting her some cash, because that look, it costs money to run a campaign. She could use the money. I'm sure, I don't know, Bernie's getting a lot of money. Elizabeth Warren is not actually raising as well. So Yang, Gabbard, Warren, Bernie, Marianne, donate to their campaigns, help them out, get them on the debate stage if they haven't qualified yet with Marianne, and the rest of them, keep their campaigns going. They need it takes a lot of money to run a campaign. So that's where we're at with all of this.